Dude walked right up and said, "Tell Florian, thank you for taking me home."
What?
Yes.
Oh gosh, so it looks like Darcy and Florian aren't BFFs anymore. But has he seriously been cheating again?
You got something you want to tell me?
No.
Because I feel like you're holding back. There's something you want to tell me, but you're not telling me. And I felt it for time. For a long time.
Holding nothing back. What the hell are you talking about?
Florian's mouth may say no, but his body language is screaming guilty. Now, since Darcy's arrival, things have gone from bad to shit. Stacey's issue with Darcy and Florian have led to all three of them going to therapy. And it takes just 60 seconds for Darcy in therapy to bring up the one thing that Stacey hates her mentioning.
I'm 7 minutes older, and I feel like I'm almost like the protector. I know a lot of our conflict kind of stems between our twin bond.
Come on, Darcy. Like, imagine being 50 years old and still, to this day, bringing up the fact that you're just 7 minutes older. Like, it's embarrassing. But Darcy reiterates that she's here at the resort to try and fix things with Stacey. She wants to keep their family united. But the thing is, before Stacey can even think about that, she has a lot of pent-up resentment to unpack.
You just basically outed yourself when you're like, "Oh, I'm 7 minutes older. Like, she's better. Like, we're equals."
How do you hear that when she says, "I'm 7 minutes older"?
Like, she's, above me.
I think Stacey's insecurity is really evident here. Like, Darcy just said that because she's older, she feels a sense of responsibility, but Stacey has interpreted that as she thinks that she's better than me. But this isn't the Darcy and Stacey show. Like, that's a different show altogether. This show, Last Resort, is meant to be about Stacey and Florian. It's meant to be all about fixing their marriage. And to do that, they need to address why exactly Darcy keeps ringing up Florian in the middle of the night.
I get it, we're twins, but when it comes to our personal relationships, I feel like we're too involved. Like, calling Florian in the middle of the night. It's happened numerous times.
What Stacey's asking for here are boundaries. Like, there's no conceivable reason, aside from an emergency, that Darcy needs to call Florian at 4 a.m. Like, what Stacey's asking isn't an unreasonable request, and yet Darcy is just full of excuses. Now, the thing is, it's not just the calls though. Like Stacey was deeply hurt when Florian revealed what exactly Darcy had been telling him during those late night parties and on those late night phone calls.
You talk about me to him all the time. What are you talking about? Like when she said, "You're better off single."
Who said that?
Darcy to Florian.
So why is Darcy saying that kind of stuff about her own twin sister? It's not cool. You can understand why Stacey is deeply hurt by that. But again, instead of holding her hands up and apologising, Darcy once again rattles off a list of excuses and half-assed explanations. "I don't remember," she says. I was probably drunk. I didn't mean it. It was after a fight. Blah, 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 blah. Whether or not they're true, none of those justify what she said. It's not an excuse. And when the therapist asks Florian what he thinks of Darcy, we suddenly get to the core of Stacey's insecurity.
I look like it's my sister,
You don't see it in like a sexual way.
What are you talking about? That's disgusting.
Look, at the end of the day, they are twins. They share the same DNA and we can all see they look remarkably alike. Now, I'm not sure if this is a common insecurity in twins of the same sex, but you've got to imagine if he's attracted to Stacey, then at least on some level, he must be physically attracted to her identical twin sister as well, right? Like, it's this combined with their close relationship, their late night phone calls, going out partying together, not to mention, of course, Florian's history of cheating, that's making Stacey jump to conclusions. She's painting worst case scenarios in her own mind.
He's the one that cheated in the past, and he's making me feel like I'm crazy and insecure. How can Florian and I have a successful marriage if he feels like he's closer to my sister than me?
Now, Florian and Darcy both immediately put that to bed. There's nothing going on between us, they both reassure her. In fact, says Darcy, by you painting these scenarios in your mind, you're pulling away from me. You're breaking our relationship. But Stacey, she doesn't agree. She thinks the blame lies with Darcy for not taking responsibility for her own actions. Now, thankfully, the pair do come to an agreement.
maybe we can have some boundaries, like not call super late at night. I don't mind her calling Florian. It's just the late at night ones.
Okay.
Just, have some respect.
Now, while Darcy says this is something that she can do, privately to the camera crew, she reveals that really she thinks the whole boundary thing is an excuse.
I think that's a crock, to be honest with you. She wants me out of her life. What am I gonna do? They're gonna miss me though.
Yeah, it's looking like Darcy really hasn't learned anything in therapy today. Now, when we join them later on that evening as the cast are all out drinking, Darcy receives a call from her husband, which she takes in secret. And immediately after, she pulls her sister aside for a chat.
A couple weeks ago, me, Florian, and Georgia were out one night, and we saw Florian walk away with two blondes. Two girls and Florian. They walked out, and you know what? I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt.
I didn't think anything of it at the time, says Darcy. I just gave him the benefit of the doubt and assumed he'd gone outside for a cigarette. But, she says, after this call that I've just had with Georgie, I think there's more to that story. You see, apparently, Darcy tells us, Georgie bumped into one of those blondes again, and she apparently insinuated that they'd slept together.
She walked right up and said, "Tell Florian, thank you for taking me home." What? Yes. Yes.
Now, let's just be clear here. Saying thank you for taking me home isn't quite the same as we slept together. But it doesn't really sound good, does it? Why is Florian taking this random blonde girl home? Like, he has no business doing that. And it's not like he hasn't cheated before in the past, is it? Now, for as valid as that is, right, there is a big but here. Darcy definitely seems to be taking far too much joy in revealing this news to Stacey. She seems to be reveling in riling her sister up over this. Maybe she's just trying to be a good sister, or maybe her plan is to win Stacey back by making Florian the enemy.
This girl came right up to him with like a motive, almost as if she had more to say.
They hooked up or something?
Like maybe a kiss. Stacey, I have your back.
Darcy, you've seen him flirting all the time.
Whoa, sorry, was Darcy there? The way she's describing it is as if she's seen it with her own eyes. I highly doubt that Georgie explained it to her in such detail. You get the feeling she might be embellishing or exaggerating slightly here. But whether exaggerated or not, Stacey is very upset. Again, this has tapped into a deep insecurity of hers. In fact, she says, I've suspected Florian's been acting weird for a while now.
Makeup on the shirt, it's him walking girls home late at night, flirting when he goes out, staying out all hours. Like, it's so hard when he keeps repeating the same pattern.
And just like that, Darcy is now back in Stacey's good books, and Florian becomes public enemy number 1. Perhaps just as Darcy had hoped. Now, fueled with anger, riled up by what she's just heard, Stacey wastes no time walking over to her husband and pulling him outside. You need to own up, she says to Florian. You need to clarify exactly what it is I just heard from Darcy.
You got something you want to tell me?
No.
Because I feel like you're holding back. There's something you want to tell me, but you're not telling me. And I felt it for a long time.
Holding nothing back. What the hell are you talking about?
Stacey gives Florian the opportunity to come clean, and I'm not gonna lie, he's acting very suspicious. Like, just look at him. He's hunched over, he's holding the glass up to his face as if it's a physical barrier between him and Stacey, and he refuses to make eye contact. It's weird. It's not his normal behaviour. It definitely looks like he's hiding something.
And you know what she told Georgie?
Huh.
Tell Florian, thank you for taking me home that night.
Take her home, I know.
Yeah, you took her home. What'd you guys do after hours?
Note how the minute Stacey clarified what it is that she heard, Florian goes back to his usual self. It's like he can relax a little. Like, his glass drops away from his face. He faces Stacey head on. He looks her in the eye, and then he begins to argue with her. He tells her, I never took anyone home. Let me remind you, Stacey, I don't even have a driver's license. How exactly could I take her home? I think I know what's happened, he says. I think I know why that girl may have said that to Georgie.
One girl live in our building.
Oh, she lives in the building. Oh, just like I thought.
Just falling down like this, like drunk kid. Just in crossing the street, almost fall down.
I was just innocently helping a drunk girl get home who just so happens to live in our apartment building, he says, which is a convenient story. Now, the fact that he sounds so assured and confident in this, the fact that he's not hiding his face, he's not avoiding eye contact, gives me some hope that maybe he is telling the truth. I mean, you'd think that if this lady really does live in their building, it wouldn't be that hard to track her down and ask her to corroborate the details. If he's lying here, it's a lie. He's gonna get found out. Now, I get the impression, I think he does have something to hide, but it's not this. But the thing is, Stacey, having been cheated on by Florian once before, isn't so easily convinced.
There's a pattern here. I've seen you flirt with girls flirt with you. You're coming home with makeup on the shirt. I don't believe you.
Stacey.
Sorry, I don't believe you.
That doesn't paint a good picture, does it? It's a lot of little details that add up to mean something a bit bigger. Like, nothing by itself is conclusive, but when you stack up all the evidence, something doesn't look right either. Now, Florian immediately starts trying to deflect. He picks Darcy to blame. You see, after the conversation ends and Florian follows Stacey back to the wider group, he begins to argue with Darcy. You're just trying to rebuild your bond with your sister by making bullshit up about me, he says. And it's left to Josh to pull Florian aside quickly before it escalates any further and try and get to the bottom of this. Why? Why would Darcy make this up? Josh asks Florian.
I don't know, but Darcy making the on purpose, I promise you.
Why do you think Darcy would make this up on purpose?
He's thinking me and Stacey like have more good relationship in her.
Florian's convinced that Darcy is trying to sabotage his marriage because she's jealous. Her own marriage is rocky, he says. It's been on the rocks for a very long time, and also Stacey has been pushing her away. She's doing this to win her sister back. And look, while that does add up, while there may be some truth to that, keep in mind that Florian's story has changed here. He's now saying that Darcy is making shit up, but literally 2 minutes ago, he accepted that there was some truth to what she said. I have the perfect explanation, his exact words, for what Darcy has told you. So, which is it, Florian?
I think Darcy bringing this on purpose to get more close to Stacey, because today in therapy, Darcy felt Stacey pushing her away.
Look, if this really was Darcy's evil genius plan, well, it worked, because she and Stacey are now back to being besties again. Now, the thing is, there's no smoke without fire, right? Maybe Darcy did have a plan in place, but that doesn't mean that Florian's innocent. He definitely seems to be hiding something, and if he is, mark my words, it is eventually gonna come out.